What's happening here is pretty much a business decision, right? Like Fanta is about 17 times bigger than Lilt. And so what they're doing is basically saying, well, we have similar drinks, so we're going to consolidate them into one, and it only makes financial sense, right? So if I was working in Fanta, I would just say, well, let's consolidate all of them. There's no need for two separate brands.
Do you think this is the right way to go? I mean, we've been watching the old school videos that were out before you were even born, and it's appeared like there was more money invested in advertising. So obviously, they're going to see a drop in sales.
Yeah, so I think they'll see a kind of temporary drop in sales, right? I think the biggest hurdle here would be the cognitive efforts of people who are very used to Lilt, who would then have to effectively reprogram their minds to say, well, it's not Lilt anymore, but rather is this variation of Fanta. So maybe there'll be almost a short-term hit. But to be honest, considering all the hype that I'm seeing on Twitter, it may end up being the best thing for Lilt. People like me who may not have drank it in a while will go, oh yeah, that drink. And then they'll go and taste it and see if it's actually something that they enjoy. So maybe short term, there may be a bit of a blip because it's taken some cognitive effort to say, right, this is the new thing. But I think curiosity is actually going to drive it to the next level in the medium term.
See, I'm the perfect age, Timothy, to be heavily influenced by the Lilt man growing up. And even though I don't even drink Lilt, but I still feel this is a bad decision to lose Lilt. Do you think, Timothy, some of this is influenced by the sort of the social media marketing generation, where you've got drinks like Prime, which are getting so much attention around them by KSI and Logan Paul, and some of those other big brands have to try and compete?
Yeah, and I think the way these big brands can compete, there's kind of two ways. One is you just buy them. I've actually written a post ages ago which basically said at some point I would not be surprised if Coca-Cola basically dump a couple billion to buy Prime, and then maybe they end up messing it up. The other way is to say, let's streamline everything that we have, and then let's try and add on a bit of a cool factor. But if they're trying to add a cool factor, I don't think going from Lilt to Fanta, which perhaps has a bit more of that corporate feel to it, I don't think that's the play if you wanted to be a bit more cool and a bit more edgy. So in that regard, I think it's a bit of a misstep. But in terms of commercially, financially, and making sure that the brand itself can scale, I think is actually quite a sensible step.
Well, Timothy, who needs a Lilt man when you've got the marketing man? Thank you very much for being on the programme. Lovely to talk to you. See you soon.
Cheers. Bye.